Man, listen carefully. The media is not about information. It's about control. Every headline you read, every story they pump out, every screen you stare at is another lever the Matrix pulls to keep you obedient. You think you're scrolling for fun. You think you're choosing what to watch, but fuck no. You're being programmed. Just like school trained you to sit down and obey, the media trains you to think what they want you to think, to believe what they want you to believe. The truth. It's not even hidden. It's buried under layers of distraction, lies, and bullshit. They keep your brain hooked on a drip feed of fear, outrage, and dopamine until you're too weak to question it. And the saddest part, most men defend their own brainwashing. That's how deep the Matrix runs. Man, the Matrix is slick with how it plays this game. They don't chain you with whips and shackles. They chain you with pixels. You sit there staring at glowing screens thinking you're free because you can choose channels, choose apps, choose feeds. But those choices are illusions. Algorithms decide what you see. Editors decide what you hear. Corporations decide what you believe. You're not choosing shit, you're being fed. Like livestock, waiting for the next injection of programming. You think you're watching news, but you're being told how to feel. You think you're watching entertainment, but you're being shown how to live. And because school killed your ability to question, you accept it. You swallow it whole. And just like that, the Matrix keeps you locked inside its system, smiling like you're free while they drain your life away. I'll tell you something from my own life. I used to watch the news and feel that unease in my gut. Some crisis here, some disaster there, some celebrity scandal splashed across the screen. And I'd ask myself, why the fuck do I need to know this? How does this help me build? How does this make me strong? The answer was clear. It doesn't. It never did. That's when I started to see it for what it was. Programming. They want you scared. They want you angry. They want you distracted. A scared man is easy to control. An angry man is easy to manipulate. And a distracted man never fights back. The Matrix feeds you constant noise so you never have silence long enough to see the bars of your cage. That's how they keep billions of men sedated. Endless noise, endless bullshit, endless distractions dressed as news. Man, the illusion of choice is the strongest drug the media sells. They tell you there are sides. Left versus right, this channel versus that one, this platform versus another. But all those sides are controlled by the same house. Different dealers, same casino. You think picking a side makes you independent, but you're still playing their game. That's the beauty of the Matrix. It doesn't care which team you support, which politician you worship, which celebrity you idolize. As long as you're inside the game, you're theirs. They keep you busy fighting over crumbs while they laugh at how blind you are. They sell you outrage so you feel alive, but you're not alive. You're a puppet dancing to their strings. And every day you play along, the Matrix tightens the leash around your neck. Entertainment? Don't get me started. Movies, TV, music, it's all weaponized. They're not just telling stories, they're selling you lifestyles. They show you luxury, love, sex, fame, happiness, all scripted illusions. They pump your brain full of images designed to make you chase shadows. You think you're living free, but really you're copying scripts written by people who don't give a fuck about you. The Matrix wants you chasing the dream it sells because as long as you're chasing their dream, you'll never build your own. And while you're busy scrolling, watching, idolizing, the house keeps collecting. You are not the customer in this system. You're the product. Your time, your attention, your very thoughts. Sold to the highest bidder while you clap and call it entertainment. Man, this is why I always say you're living in the Matrix. It's not just a movie. It's reality. The system's so effective, you don't even see the chains. And the most dangerous part, the prisoners defend it. All out the bullshit and watch how fast people attack you. They'll say you're crazy. You're paranoid. You're extreme. Why? Because their programming tells them to. The Matrix has built-in defense systems. Ordinary men become its soldiers without even knowing it. They fight for their own slavery because they're too brainwashed to see the truth. That's how strong the control is. It doesn't just own your actions. It owns your beliefs. It makes you police yourself, laugh at rebels, and defend the very system that's bleeding you dry. That's how you know it's a prison, man. Because the prisoners will fight to stay inside. Man, fear is the media's favorite weapon, and the Matrix wields it like a blade. Every time you turn on the TV or scroll your feed, they shove fear straight into your brain. A war on the other side of the world, a virus, a shooting, a new crisis. It never ends. And you sit there thinking, fuck, everything is falling apart. But here's the truth. Most of it doesn't even touch your life. You're being programmed to panic over shit that has nothing to do with you. Why? Because a man who is scared is easy to control. He won't rebel. He won't fight back. He won't chase greatness. He'll sit at home, quiet, obedient, hoping the people who scared him will also save him. That's the game. They scare you. Then they sell you the solution. They invent the problem, then make you grateful for the cure. That's how the Matrix keeps you docile. Now look at the dopamine cycle. Every scroll, every notification, every like is another hit. The Matrix doesn't just want you scared, it wants you addicted. Addicted to validation, addicted to noise, addicted to the fucking screen. You think you're connecting with people, but you're not. You're being farmed. They sell your attention, they sell your time, they sell your soul one scroll at a time. And the fucked up part, you thank them for it. You call it entertainment. You call it staying informed. But really, you're chained to a slot machine, pulling the lever again and again, hoping the next spin gives you meaning. The Matrix designed social media like a casino floor for a reason. Flashing lights, endless scroll, no clocks, no exit. You think you're choosing to stay. You're not. You're hooked like a junkie. And the dealer is laughing while you rot. Man, the Matrix also knows your weaknesses. It knows you crave idols, people to look up to, people to worship. So what do? They hand you celebrities, influencers, false gods. They build them up, pump them full of attention, and then feed them to you as role models. But these so-called idols are not free. They're puppets. Controlled, owned, scripted. They don't live how they want. They live how the Matrix tells them to, because their fame depends on obedience. And you copy them. You wear what they wear, chase what they chase, dream what they dream. You don't even realize you're copying a slave. That's the genius. The Matrix doesn't just trap you. It makes you want to be trapped. It sells you a lifestyle designed to keep you weak, broke, distracted, and you chase it like it's salvation. Let me tell you how this plays out in reality. When I was younger, I started noticing the celebrities plastered everywhere. They had cars, houses, women, fame. And for a second, you think that's success. But then I paid attention. I looked deeper. Most of them were broke behind the scenes. Most of them didn't own shit. Their houses were rented. Their cars were leased. Their lifestyles funded by corporations that owned their soul. And I realized this isn't freedom. This is slavery wrapped in gold. These idols were prisoners in cages too shiny for the average man to see the bars. And I thought, why the fuck would I copy that? That's when it hit me. The Matrix doesn't show you real freedom. It shows you bait. And most men bite it, chasing fake success until they die broke and forgotten. Man, the Matrix uses anger the same way it uses fear. Look at the way the media frames every story. They want you pissed off. Angry at politicians, angry at celebrities, angry at strangers online. Why? Why? Because an angry man wastes his energy. He screams at a screen, argues in comment sections, fights battles that don't matter. And while he's busy spitting rage, the Matrix keeps draining him. That's why outrage is profitable. It keeps you busy with shadows while the real chains tighten around your neck. I see men every day, veins popping out of their heads because of some bullshit headline. And I think, man, you're exactly where they want you. Too tired, too distracted, too emotional to build anything real. That's the tragedy of anger in the Matrix. It feels like power, but it's actually weakness. And here's the sickest trick, man. The Matrix doesn't even hide this. They show you how fake it all is, and you still don't believe it. Movies joke about corruption. Comedians mock politicians. Everyone laughs about how rich people don't pay taxes. And yet you still trust the same system that admits it's a scam. That's how strong the brainwashing is. They can laugh in your face, admit they're robbing you, and you'll still defend them. You'll still play their game. That's the mark of true control. It's not when the prisoner is locked in a cage. It's when the prisoner loves the cage and fights anyone who tries to open it. That's the power of the Matrix. And if you don't see it now, you never will. Man, here's the dirtiest part of the Matrix. It convinces you that you're free while keeping you chained. They hand you little choices, tiny illusions, and you swallow them like they're freedom. Pick your phone brand. Pick your news channel. Pick your Netflix show. Pick your politician. But at the end of the day, you're still inside the cage. The bars don't move just because the walls are painted different colors. That's the scam. They let you feel like you're making decisions when in reality, every decision was preloaded into the system. You're not steering your life. You're following a script written by people who profit from your obedience. And the fucked up part, you call it freedom. You brag about it, you defend it, but you're just a pawn who thinks he's a king because the Matrix gave you two fake crowns to choose between. Man, social media is the biggest illusion factory of them all. They built it like a casino floor on purpose. Infinite scroll, flashing lights, endless dopamine hits. And you sit there like a junkie, pulling the lever again and again, hoping the next post, the next notification will give your life meaning. But it never does. It just keeps you hooked. That's why you can spend hours on your phone and come away empty, drained, hollow, because it's not designed to build you. It's designed to farm you. Your attention is the product. Your time is the currency. And the Matrix is cashing out every second you waste. You think you're connecting with people, but you're not. You're getting programmed by a machine that knows your weaknesses better than you do. Every swipe is another shackle. Every click is another chain. And you're proud of it like a dog wagging its tail at the leash. Man, let's talk about influencers. The Matrix figured out you won't listen to authority figures anymore. You don't trust politicians. You don't trust news anchors. So they built a new weapon. Influencers, regular people dressed up as authentic, made to look like they're just like you. And you trust them because they seem real. But they're not real. They're controlled, owned. They post what they're told. They push the products they're paid to. They reinforce the same values, the same chains, the same obedience. And you copy them without even noticing. That's the beauty of the Matrix. It doesn't need to scream at you anymore. It whispers through the people you idolize. And while you think you're making free choices, you're just repeating the script someone else sold you. You're not free. You're a consumer puppet. And the Matrix loves it because you defend the very people who are selling your mind. I'll give you a story from my own life. Back when I started breaking out of the system, I noticed how people around me mocked me. Why don't you just get a job? Why don't you just play it safe? Why don't you do what everyone else does? And I realized something. These men weren't speaking for themselves. They were parrots. Their words weren't theirs. They were repeating the Matrix programming. The media told them safe is good, normal is success, obedience is smart. And they copied it word for word, thinking it was wisdom. That's how brainwashed they were. They fought me not because they hated me, but because they couldn't handle the truth that their whole life was a cage. They were defending their captor because the Matrix made them love their chains. And once I saw that, I knew this isn't about facts. This is about programming. And breaking free isn't about proving them wrong. It's about unlearning the lies they can't let go of. Man, the Matrix plays you with status too. It knows men crave respect, so it sells you fake success to chase. A new car, a new watch, a new house. And you run after it like a dog chasing a bone. You kill yourself at a job, you drown yourself in debt, you sacrifice your soul just to post a picture online that says, look, I made it. But did you? Or did you just chain yourself tighter? That car isn't freedom. It's a fucking leash with wheels. That house isn't victory. It's a mortgage trap with shiny paint. That watch doesn't make you a king. It makes you a slave showing off your own shackles. The Matrix feeds you status symbols not to free you, but to keep you competing in a game that doesn't matter. And most men never realize it until it's too late. They die showing off their scraps, proud of a life that was never theirs. And here's where it gets darker, man. The Matrix doesn't just want your money, it wants your mind. It wants your beliefs, your values, your instincts. It hijacks the things that make you human and twists them into chains. Your need for love becomes dependency. Your need for validation becomes addiction. Your need for meaning becomes blind loyalty to movements, ideologies, and illusions. The Matrix doesn't fight your nature. It weaponizes it. And because it feels familiar, you don't resist. You think that's just how life is. But it's not life. It's programming. It's control. It's the illusion of freedom while you're being marched in circles inside a cage you can't even see. That's the sick genius of it all. You think you're alive, but you're a character in someone else's script, playing a role they assigned before you even had a chance to choose. Man, the Matrix doesn't just distract you. It deliberately weakens you. It poisons you, sedates you, makes sure you never have the strength to rebel. Think about it. They fill your food with sugar and chemicals. They push fast food, junk food, cheap shit that destroys your body. Then when you're sick, they sell you pills. Pills for pain, pills for sleep, pills for anxiety. And you take them like candy thinking it's medicine when really it's another chain. A weak, Tired, medicated man isn't a threat. He won't fight the system. He won't build his empire. He'll sit there scrolling Netflix, jerking off to porn, eating garbage, and calling it life. That's the plan. The Matrix doesn't need to whip you. It just needs to keep you soft enough, comfortable enough, weak enough so you'll never rise. Man, comfort is the drug of the modern world. You've got air conditioning, fast food on demand, endless entertainment in your pocket. Everything is easy. And easy is the fucking trap. Because a man addicted to comfort will never chase greatness. He'll settle for crumbs. He'll brag about vacations he can't afford, cars on credit, weekends wasted drunk with friends who are just as broke. That's not living. That's sedation. The Matrix figured out that men don't need chains if you give them enough comfort. They'll chain themselves, they'll laugh, smile, even defend their slavery because the couch is soft and the beer is cold. And then life passes and they die weak, unfulfilled, forgotten. That's what comfort does. It kills ambition before you even realize it's gone. Man, porn is one of the nastiest weapons they ever deployed. You think it's harmless. You think it's just entertainment. But porn is poison. It drains your energy. It kills your drive. It rewires your brain to chase fake intimacy instead of real conquest. The Matrix knows men are driven by sex, by the urge to dominate, to win. And it hijacks that drive, turns it into weakness. Instead of chasing women, instead of building yourself into a man worth desiring, you sit in the dark jerking off to pixels. You waste your fire on nothing. And the more you consume, the weaker you get. You don't chase, you don't fight, you don't build. You're neutered. And a neutered man is the easiest slave of all. That's why porn is free. That's why it's everywhere. Because the Matrix knows it's the leash most men willingly wrap around their own neck. Man, I'll tell you the truth about health. When I started training, when I started fighting, when I started building my body, I saw the Matrix for what it was. Because the second you get strong, the second you build discipline, the illusion cracks. You realize the food they push is poison. You realize the entertainment they sell is garbage. You realize the people telling you to take it easy are just defending their own weakness. The stronger I got, the more I saw how much a society is designed to make you weak. Because a strong man is dangerous. A strong man doesn't need the system. A strong man can't be easily distracted, controlled, or sedated. That's why they pump weakness into every part of your life. Because strength is rebellion. And the Matrix fears men who are strong enough to walk away. Man, even your escapes are fake. They sell you vacations, sports, entertainment, as if that's freedom. But it's not freedom. It's bred in circuses. It's the same shit they used in ancient Rome. Distract the masses with games and pleasure so they won't notice they're slaves. That's why sports are plastered everywhere. That's why celebrity gossip fills your feeds. That's why Netflix drops new shows every week. It's noise. Constant, endless noise to make sure you never sit in silence long enough to see the truth. Because silence is dangerous. In silence, you can think. And when a man starts thinking, really thinking, he starts questioning. And when he starts questioning, the chains crack. That's why the Matrix keeps you distracted, comfortable, and weak. Because a thinking man, a strong man, a disciplined man is the one thing they can't control. Man, the truth is brutal. The Matrix doesn't just want your time or your money. It wants your fucking soul. It wants you so broken, so addicted, so brainwashed that you can't even imagine a life outside of it. That's why it starts young. From school to media to culture, the programming never stops. They tell you what to eat, what to wear, what to watch, what to believe. And because it's constant, you don't resist. You don't even see it. You think you're free because you can pick between Pepsi and Coke, left or right, Apple or Samsung. But those aren't real choices. That's window dressing. The real choice. To walk away, to unplug, to build your own table. That choice is never offered. Because if too many men took it, the entire system would collapse overnight. And the Matrix will never risk that. Man, that's why they punish rebels. That's why they censor voices that tell you the truth. That's why they mock and cancel men who break free. Because every rebel is a crack in the illusion. Every man who escapes proves the Matrix isn't invincible. And that terrifies them. You ever notice how fast the media unites when someone starts waking men up? They smear him, call him dangerous, call him toxic. Why? Because the system isn't scared of clowns, it's scared of leaders. It's scared of strong men who show others the bars of the cage. And the moment a man starts opening eyes, the Matrix throws everything it has at him. Not because he's wrong, but because he's too fucking right. That's the measure of truth in this world. The more they fight it, the more real it is. Man, let's talk about how the Matrix keeps you chained with hope. That's the dirtiest trick of all. They feed you just enough small wins to keep you loyal. A little raise at work, a few likes on your post, a holiday once a year, and you clap for it like you just hit the jackpot. But those scraps aren't victory. They're bait. They're designed to keep you patient, to keep you addicted, to keep you waiting for a win that never comes. That's why most men never escape. They keep saying, maybe next year, maybe the next election, maybe the next promotion. And the years pass and nothing changes. And by the time they realize it, they're old, tired, and broken. The house doesn't need to beat you into submission. It just needs to keep you chasing shadows until you run out of time. Man, I've lived outside the Matrix, and that's why I can see it so clearly. When you stop watching their news, when you stop eating their poison, when you stop chasing their idols, something insane happens. You start to think for yourself. You start to feel real power. And it pisses you off. You realize how much time you wasted, how much energy you gave to lies, how much of your life was spent chasing bullshit that never mattered. And that anger is fuel. That's the fire that makes you build, makes you fight, makes you refuse to ever go back. Because once you taste freedom, you can't untaste it. Once you see the Matrix, you can't unsee it. And that's why the system fears men like me. Because I don't need their approval, I don't need their lies, and I don't need their chains. I live by my own rules. And once you do the same, you're unstoppable. Man, the Matrix is not a movie. It's the fucking reality you live in every single day. It's the system that tells you what to think, how to act, what to want. And unless you break free, you will die in chains, bragging about scraps, smiling for photos, defending the very prison that keeps you weak. That's the destiny of most men, but it doesn't have to be yours. You can unplug. You can fight back. You can reject the programming and build something real. But you need courage. You need clarity. You need the balls to throw away everything they told you was success. That's why so few men escape. Because freedom isn't comfortable. Freedom isn't easy. Freedom hurts, but it's the only thing worth chasing. Because when you win your freedom, when you tear off the chains, when you stand outside the Matrix with your own empire in your hands, that's when you finally fucking live. So